Yeah, I'm on break right now, man. I have to fix my naps real quick. Always yawning, right? I just noticed that when I watch back my videos that I do yawn a lot. That means I'm constantly working or busy at that. This week is gonna be a busy week, so it's gonna be snappy. It's not really nappy. It's just torn my shit. Yeah, they plan other ways. I see that already. So anyway, how you good folks? Good folks of this world doing, man? How the good folks of the world doing? I got 15 minutes of my break. My break is only 30 minutes. So right now I'm out here just chilling. Usually on my break, even when I was in New York, I don't really eat nothing on my break. I'm only doing an 8 hour shift. I know that sounds crazy. Most people be like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, but 8 hours feels like the easiest thing you can do in your life. Like compared to what I used to do in New York, we used to do 12 hours a day. So like 8 hours is pretty is luxurious. The only thing I don't like about 8 hours is like you're doing 8 hours for 5 days. So it takes a lot of your day. But at the same time you get to get home. I was doing 12 hours, that shit was crazy, but how you guys doing, man? The world is at a standstill. I actually still see the cloud and I see the trees still vibing. I see businesses still operating. Feel me? So nothing crazy happened yet. I think like every time, it's like we gotta talk some good vibe, but we can't just ignore it and start talking. You feel me? The problem has to be if you want to talk about it, don't feel guilty. Just talk about the election if you want to. If you want to talk about spirituality, then you talk about it. If you want to talk about um, any matter, family, relationship, goals, how to get a bag, feel me? How to pay your rent, how to start your own business. Yeah, talk about all that stuff because any kind of message right now, including an election message, is needed. It's not different from any other day. People, it comes down to priorities and what is more important to you and what you need to do or what you have to do. So it's like you feel me, your needs and wants. What do you really need and what do you want? So this is it right here. So if you want to talk about it, don't let these people guilt trip you out of it. If that's what you want to talk about, then talk about it. You know what I mean? I just feel like it's important to talk about it, especially things that's going on. Like these politicians don't pay you no money. That is true, but that's fair to say. I ain't gonna lie, and that's so true. The politicians, they probably don't care about you, whether it's Biden or Trump. They probably don't care about you. Probably. The keyword is probably, but it's more important to see it from this point of view. It's not about the politics. It's not about what um what they fighting over. It's just two old white guys fighting each other. What does that got to do with you? Da, da, da. You got bigger problems. Da, da. I hear all that, and that's all fair. You feel me? That's very very fair. But if you see injustice going on, you see something that is not fair, and you see something that is wrong, you have to stand up and say something about it. It doesn't matter even if it has something to do with you or not. With that mentality, that's why a lot of things happen in our society. Well, it's not me. It ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm gonna keep pushing. Feel me? I'm gonna keep pushing. Like you can, you can do something about it. You don't have to literally get in between the fight. You can document it down. You can call the cops. There's a lot of ways that you can do something about something right now. We're not asking you to go get your armor. Feel me? Better go get your mama, go get your armor. We're not asking you to do that, but we want you to voice your opinion on it. We want you to be like this, yeah, like this something fair is going on, something unfair and unjustly is going on right now, and we need to speak about it. We cannot be biased and be like, well, he said this, and no, that's not true. All those stuff was just in your mind. You could probably say the same thing about me too. Be like, well, all those unjust things is just in your mind, but it's so clear as day. You, somebody ripped my socks. What the fuck? But it's so clear as day. You feel me? It is clear. Hold on. Shout out to Ralph again. Ralph Smart. That's what I call him, Ralph Lawrence. See? Anyway, Ralph Smart, you feel me? It's another YouTuber that I'm subscribed to, that I listen to. Try to listen to. With this job, yeah, it's very hard for me to do what I used to do. I complain about the Bluetooth, then I gotta play my music out loud sometimes, so it's like I can't listen to the things I need to listen to because the Bluetooth is not even there, and the headphones are definitely not gonna want to hear you do that. So, all my inspiration shit. When I get up for work, I be tired too, so sometimes I don't even know that I went to sleep. I gotta wake up to know that I went to sleep. Yeah, it's that real. So, yeah, nigga, I be on it, but so I try to do the best that I can to catch up with all these things which are essential. Cause I need all of them. I need the spiritual. I need the financial. I need all of it. You could take it all no homo. You could take it all in one. Do not limit yourself thinking that you're doing too much. People who tell you they're doing too much are not doing enough. And matter of fact, I'm not even doing enough. Taking all the knowledge that I need to take. I need to be having my own business and work for the next man. So when I stop working for the next man, at least I have my own business. It's essential that we all have our own business on the side, even if the only reason why you should work for somebody else like I'm doing, because you need the extra money or you need it to fund your own small entrepreneur business. But everybody should be somehow, some way having their own business. That's how it's supposed to be. People will always ask a stupid question. Well, how's that gonna work if everybody have their own business? If I have my own business and you have your own business, all we're doing is trading. Then I can trade with the next person and trade with the next person. And with the internet, shit, nigga, why wouldn't you want your own business? Like, there's so many ways and angles that we can trade. You don't have to just trade with one person. They talk about all this diversity movement and everything else, and people coming together and all this fake shit they're talking about. But in actuality, if you was to see that fruition for real, then we wouldn't have to, you feel me? We wouldn't have to compete on some guerrilla tactic competing where you want to kill one business down so your business can flourish. Feel me? People do that all the time. But in a perfect world, yeah, everybody's supposed to have their own business and we all supposed to trade with each other. I get what my community needs, or I bring something new to my people. And that's how you go by. You just trade, 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 trade. Instead of being jealous of one another and competing secretly with each other. It's crazy, man. People just pick the smallest thing about themselves and try to separate you from the next person. It could be the texture of your hair and be like, look, it's like, yeah, different. The hair, your texture is curly. His is nappy. Shit like that. Yours is 6 feet long. His is 5.5 feet. Like the smallest thing that is meaningless. Yeah, you heard the plane, right? They always spying on me. They used to do that in New York with the helicopter and everything else. These people don't even know how to fake it. They blatantly just do it because it's like the information was given to them. New York City had to grind for all the information that they collected on me. So these people, the information has been given to them, so they usually senselessly, without knowing how to actually maneuver and act like you're not there. Because I can easily record it, which I am doing right now, and be like, look at what they're doing. You see, New York City, they're gonna be like, well, they were just passing by. Then I could be like, well, if I record at the same time every day, I want to see the schedule. What base are they coming from? What's are they supposed to be flying this time zone? You see, it can go that far. So New York City took all the necessary things to cover their ass. But some of these people, like, they're just doing it just to do it. It's like they're not. There's no sense into what they do. It's just they don't even cover their ass. They're just doing it blatantly. Like it's so much lawsuits just floating around here. It's ridiculous. It's sad. But I'm not talking for me. I'm talking for other people. Like it's so much craziness going on. You feel me? But it just the information was given to them, and it's like a new toy. They just so happy to get it. They just shooting everything, and they can't stop. They like trigger happy. Like it's crazy. It's like a fantasy. It was a fun to see. It was a fantasy fun to see. It couldn't help the changes. Anyway, so I just feel like we should all have our own small business and everything else like that. So in that way, in that form, that's I mean that's what I want to do. I want to have my own small business. So I'm not too relying on the government. Even with small business, you still gotta pay taxes and report to the government and everything else. But at least you 1 foot out the door. You feel me? Like at least you like you like 1 foot out, 1 foot in type shit. Like you feel me? But yeah, man. That's what we should be. So we wouldn't depend too much on these politicians. Even if with small business, I advise you to still invest. And even that's also government because the IRS. The IRS is really not government. They consider it as a private owned business. Believe it or not, it's true. So I don't even know how that works. But yet we still gotta pay our money to them. We gotta report our income to them. So shout out to the IRS by the way. So yeah, so regardless of what you do, the only thing you can probably really do for those people who are not part of the system is to be like someone like Ralph Smart or Nature Boy, like people that live off grid and do not want to work for nobody else and everything else like that, and they and go off spirituality and live off the earth and the land and everything else like we do, but we deny that, but we go against exactly what we live by. So we going against ourselves basically. So people like that, you feel me? Or you could be, like my man TD Jakes, the greatest man I've ever came in contact with. I can't talk about TD Jakes before I get out of here, because I want to praise my heroes. Because it's best that we praise the people that influence us. Because I always like to give remarks to people. Feel me? I just started doing this because usually I quote them, but I don't get to really say their name that fast. Because I've always believed. Hold on, let this car pass by. It's ironic we both looked at each other. He wanted me to see that he was around. Anyway, I always believe that it's more important. It's more important that you hear my message than you remember my name. You feel me? So it's the message that's being out there. The message is just coming through us. Like this nigga passed by again. Very good. Good job. So it's more important that we remember the message. If I tell you a message, I want you to remember the message more than my name because the message will carry on for a long time. Somebody else is probably going to say the same message but in a different way. So that person, the message is the everlasting, not the person's name or anything else like that. So people who trying to form legacy and everything else, somebody's going to do what you did or whatever you created or invented again, because it is the everlasting idea that has to keep going, but it has to be formed in that form of time, if you understand what I'm saying. So let's say let's say the way we invented how to receive water has always been there. Now we're using pipes and metal and everything else like that. And people be like, he was the first person to ever invent sink or tube where we can actually get the water to here. But that idea has been there through one way or another. You feel me? And that's just an example. I didn't want to really go into. That's just an example. Or a cup. We could just cup drink it, but that spirit is always gonna be there because it's a need. You feel me? But we're not gonna remember the first person who ever invented that. It's gonna be thousands of people that invented the same thing. I'm stuck getting ready because I can keep talking. It's gonna be thousands of people that will invent that idea in so many different ways, but it remains the same. That the names change. The name is always going to change. The inventor is going to be according to that time. Just like Jesus Christ was the person according to that time when he came there. But there have been many Jesus Christ. There have been many disciples. There have been many messengers who had to bring this the message to life. You feel me? So the message is the everlasting thing. It's like a in the beginning, God said, "Let there be light." So the word itself, the word is the everlasting. The Christ is the everlasting, because Jesus Christ is the word. I got into TD Jakes. I wanted to talk about TD Jakes, and I went through a whole thing because it's like his teachings inspired me to think on another level. So if I'm thinking, bad, by the way. So if he inspired me to think a thought from the message that he gave, then ironically that's his thought anyway. But it is what it is. But because it's a continuation of his thought, so I have to give grace and thanks. And it's my break time over. Yes, it is. Yes, indeed.